Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630. WMAL.
636 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. Larry O'Connor alongside Brian Wilson. And coming up on the show later today, specifically at 7:35, we've got KT McFarland, Fox News Foreign Affairs Analyst. And also at 8:05, we will have Michigan State Representative Eric Nesbitt. He participated in the right-to-work vote yesterday that everyone is talking about.
And there's quite a show there in the Wolverine State yesterday. We'll get into all that. I'm very pleased to get this next woman on our show because I think she has a perspective that perhaps we need to hear. Let me give you a little background. Her name is Laura Berthiaume. She's a former member of the Montgomery County School Board. Her last day representing the district was, I guess, last Tuesday. And as she is leaving, she has some thoughts about her time on the school board, how it changed her outlook on things, and to the point where she has actually taken her kids out of public school systems. Want to ask her a little more about that. Laura, how are you? Glad you could join us here on WMAL.
Good morning, gentlemen.
All right. One of the things I read in this article in the Fairfax Times about your experience and the changes that you went through, and this one quote that just sort of jumped out at me, and I wanted to start with it. It says that, you say everybody in Montgomery County shares the same political viewpoint, the same groupthink, and you said, and this is the direct quote, it becomes a very large echo chamber. What do you mean by that?
I think it's that at this point in time, every office holder in Montgomery County is a Democrat, and in order to get elected, and then in order really to function within the political context of the county, it's not just being a Democrat, but a certain kind of Democrat. There are no conservative Democrats who hold office. There are a couple of somewhat more independent ones, like Phil Andrews on the county council.
Do you consider yourself a conservative Democrat?
Actually, I consider myself a moderate Democrat, although I've changed my registration to independent. Yeah. But I've always considered myself pretty much a moderate.
And just to follow up on this, and the problem with this is what when it comes to setting policy for kids in schools?
I think that there are these areas of silence where, if you say, for example, we really need to be concerned about the safety gap between some of our high schools where only 60% of our kids feel safe and other high schools where maybe 95% of our kids feel safe coming in, that's really difficult to talk about. And because people don't feel comfortable addressing the root causes of that, it just doesn't get addressed.
There's sort of a mindset to put your head down and go, la, 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 la.
Well, it's a political correctness issue.
We don't want to hear it, right?
Yeah, and I think it hurts kids.
Yeah, which is supposed to be what the primary focus of the school board member is to be. Ms. Berthiaume, you were the sole dissenting voice this last go-around for the teachers' union agreement. You voted against it because you said in this economy, with things uncertain as they are, and various aspects of income problems that most Americans are having right now, you didn't think that this would be the appropriate time to give the raise that was granted to the teachers union. Do you think that the fact that you voted against that you were going to get challenged this time around, and the teachers union was going to mount a challenge with a different candidate against you if you continued to stay on the board?
That's actually not why I chose not to run again. I chose not to run again because it was a very time-consuming position. I've got 3 children who were needing me more rather than less as they got older, and I just decided that I had, served really for 4 years, done my best, given it my all, but it was time to spend some time with the kids.
But was there any fallout from the teachers union when you were the sole dissenting voice? Did you hear anything? Was there?
No, I really didn't at that point. They were kind of used to the fact that I often dissent.
There goes Laura again.
Yeah. So I don't think it was coming as a shock. And I always made it a policy, I think, to try to notify my colleagues in advance that, where I had a problem or I had an issue, and they knew that was me. Yeah. So I didn't really get any pushback on it. I hope that it raised some issues for them to think about in the future regarding sustainability of wages and pension and
right.
Tax base.
Let me ask you this: you have to look at Montgomery County schools and admit that they are generally very successful. They always have some of the best scores in the country, and I think that's because many parents are deeply involved in the education of their kids. But as you looked at the system, you had some concerns about the way certain topics were being taught. What is Curriculum 2.0, and why does it concern you?
Well, Curriculum 2.0 is a new effort by Montgomery County really to get into compliance with the incoming Common Core state standards. This is a national effort being supported out of the White House and the National Governors Association.
And your concern with it is what?
Right now, we have done a major swing in teaching math. 5 years ago, it was acceleration for all, which didn't
and
work
some
for many
kids fell behind, didn't they?
Many kids were struggling and forced to accelerate beyond their level of challenge to a level of frustration. Now it seems to have come to a screeching halt in the other direction, where very few, if any, kids are being allowed to accelerate, which results in a lot of children, I'm hearing, being very bored.
I hear that as well.
So it sort of dumbs down the whole process.
I
to the
hear
low
this
income
a lot.
Yeah. Laura Berthiaume is our guest. She's a former Montgomery County School Board member. And Ms. Berthiaume, as you've exited now, but if you could be the czar of the Montgomery School Board, if you could you didn't have to worry about the votes.
King for a day.
What would be the one thing you would change about the way things are done?
Wow. I think I would probably make structural changes to how the school system is run in general. I think I would really rethink the superintendent board structure to allow more parent choice, to try to bring pressure on the school system. And this is nothing new. You look at New Orleans or the District of Columbia or any other major city where they've got charter schools. I think that you see an impact on the thinking in the central offices about what they're going to provide.
Who's standing in the way of a reform like that right now?
Oh, I don't know that. Well, we did actually approve our first charter school, so maybe it's coming. But right now, it's sort of unthinkable that Montgomery County, which, as you said, is one of the most successful school systems in the entire country, would think about going to an extended system of charter schools because we are, of course, the best, and therefore, why change?
Well, listen, I could talk to you for about an hour. In fact, I would like to sit down and talk with you about an hour about your experiences and some of the things that I hear from parents in Montgomery County. But listen, thank you for your independent thought and your service to the community. Greatly appreciated. And I hope we haven't heard the last of Laura Berthiaume.
Thank you.